Our today's lesson is on data distributions and outliers. A data distribution can be described as symmetric, skewed to the left, or skewed to the right. And what we mean by that is we look at this line, this number line. Say 5 is the median. If you see most of the scores repeat where the median is, then that's going to be considered, you have an even amount of scores to the left and right of the median, then that's going to be symmetric. If you have most of the data that's on the first quartile, you see this pattern, we're going to say it's skewed to the left. I'll put skewed left. And of course, if you see a pattern like this, where most of the data is to the right of the median, we're going to say skewed to the right. All right, the table below lists Frank's math scores in each quarter. So in the first quarter, he scored an 88, then a 94, 91, 92, and I'm assuming this is out of 100, and so on. Now, if we want to create a plot line, a line plot for each score, identify the distribution as either symmetric, skewed to the left, or skewed to the right. Well, if you look at the pattern, the lowest number is going to be 86. You see that one time. So you put a little mark there. Then you see 87. 88 is repeated 3 times. So you're going to put 3 marks here. And then you have 89. You have 89, so put a little mark here. 90 is repeated twice. Then 91 is repeated 3 times. And 4 times. 91 is 4 times. 92 is twice. And 93, you see it twice. And 94, you see that twice. 95, you see that once. And 96 is the highest number, you see that once. So if you look at it carefully, it seems like it's a little, almost looks symmetrical, because most of the scores are in the center. But let's go further. Find the mean of Frank's math scores. In order to find the mean, you're going to have to list this in order. So you have 86. You had 87. And you had 88. Remember that repeated 3 times. Then you had 90. And then you had 91. That repeated 4 times. Then you had 92. Now repeat it twice. Then 93. Then you had 94. Then 95, 96. That should be 20 entries there. And what you're going to do, you're going to add them up and divide it by 20 because 20 is the number of the scores. If you add them up, you should wind up with a 1,730. You're going to divide by 20. That means the mean is going to be 86.5 is the mean or average. All right, find the median of Frank's scores. All right, so you had a list of 20. 86 on down to 96. But if you count in 20, you'll see that 91 is in the center. It's the even amount of scores, so what you're going to do is add up and take the average. But since they're both the same, that means the median is going to be 91. But make sure you put them in order to get the median. All right, find the range and the interquartile range. Well, the range, you just take the largest number, that's 96, and subtract it from the lowest number. That gives you a difference of 10. So the range is 10. And the interquartile, recall from the last lesson, range is just the difference of the third quartile and the first quartile, which means you have to break them up into quartiles. And if you do that, you'll see that the first quartile is 88.5. And the median, we said, was 91. It's the second quartile. And the third quartile should be 93. Remember, you have to get the averages of each quartile. All right, so what you want to do is you're going to subtract these two, the difference of these two numbers. So that's just simply 93 minus 88.5. And when you do that, you get 4.5. All right, find the standard deviation. Now recall from the last lesson, you have to take the difference of each score and subtract it by the median. In this case, it's going to be 86.5. But we know that the median is 91. So you're going to subtract that from 86.5. That gives you 4.5. And the next step is to square the result. And then you want to take the square root of each of the squares. But 91, this is still going to be the median, 4.5. So if you take the square root of that, you get a standard deviation of 4.5. I suppose Frank included a drop test score of 45 from a test he failed first quarter. Create a new plot line. All right, so you know the previous plot line looks something like this. Where we went from 100 to 80. But now 45 is way back here. So this will be called an outlier because it's far away from the other scores. It's not around the clusters of the other scores. Most of the scores are between 80 and 100. But since 45 is so far to the left, it's an extreme score. We call that an outlier. This concludes our lesson for today.